Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Just Meeple Me YouTube channel. And I have a fun little video for you guys here today. I am showing you how I have Deep Madness reboxed. That's right, everybody. This is a reboxing video showing you guys how I have organized this massive game and all these cards, components, and miniatures. Dimension Games really made it pretty easy by providing these two storage boxes. Profundum, the small box on your right, and Monstrum, the large red and black box on your left. Profundum was a stretch goal add-on to the last campaign, which was the second printing, and Monstrum was an add-on, which I just had to have. So I've got this game all organized in here. All my cards are sleeved and ready to go. So I want to show you how everything fits in, and I'm really excited to dig in and show you guys how easy this game is to set up and now put away with these two storage boxes. If you missed my unboxing videos, I will have links to those videos in the description below. But anyway, guys, here we go. We're going to start with Profundum. Okay, here we go. This is the Deep Madness box Profundum. This stores all of your cards, all your tokens, all the markers, all the mini bases, dice, all the game components. So let's get this going. Okay, and right on top here, we actually have a diagram on how to organize this box. You don't have to figure this part out on your own. It's all very clearly labeled here. Sorry about the light glow on this, guys. It's pretty reflective material, but it shows you how to organize the bottom tray with everything and the top two trays with everything. And I just very easily followed this guide. This whole thing took about an hour to get all 6 boxes with all the expansions and all the extra like special epic monster boxes, everything organized. About an hour, maybe an hour 20 minutes to organize it all. Not too bad. That does not count sleeving time. On the inside we have a couple variants. We have the easy mode for chapter 1 of the base game. We have a special scenario in here, drowning in the depths. And so there's a nice little manual there. Okay, so then right on top here we have 2 game tray components. We have a larger one and a smaller one. Okay, let's do the big one here first. So everything fits nice and compact. There's a nice storage lid on here, keep things from, bouncing around too much. And just following the guide provided, we can keep track of everything. So these are the devouring track markers. This is special scenario for the Oracle's Betrayal. This is special tokens used only in the Rise of Dagon scenarios. These are other scenario related tokens. So these are different domain tokens, investigator tokens, monster related tokens, and etc. So everything's all there, clearly labeled. So you should be able to find everything quite easily in this tray. And in the second tray here, we have all of our devoured effects. Now, as I said, my unboxing got some add-on plastic tokens. So I had the bag, and then all my little tokens for this game is actually below. It's a little bit of a tight fit there. Hang on. Okay, sorry, that fits really snug on there, keep things from shifting around, but I had all my plastic devouring track tokens. It was a little more quality. Below this shuffle bag, I have all the other tokens, all the devour effect tokens laying there. So, I don't know if I ever use them since I have these, but they're all in there ready to go, okay? And then the other things that we have in here, we have our 3D spawn markers. So these are spawn markers we can use, add a little character to the game. So, and a couple other, these are track markers, which are a stretch goal. And these are different tokens that we can use, 3D tokens that we can use to mark, the devouring track and the turn order track, I believe. And then we just have other eccentric tokens here. These are our underwater tokens. or flooded markers. We have broken lock tokens. So there's a lot of tokens in this game, but all nice, fit very easily there in those 2 trays. That went on much easier than it came off. Okay, here's the bottom tray. We have all the game manuals nice and snug right here. So I have them all in order. The original game, which is the biggest at 56 pages, like I said in my unboxing video. We have the expansion, or the stretch goal box, Uncounted Horrors, the first expansion, and then some of the newer content from the second printing, the Rise of the Aegon expansion, the Oracle's Betrayal expansion, and then the Faces of Sphere expansion, which has a crossover with the new Kickstarter live now, Dawn of Madness. Go check that out, guys. I will also have that link below. It's a little crossover game. It's set in the same universe, not a true prelude, but touching on it. And that game is even more massive than this game is. So, all the game manuals fit right there, nice and snug. As you can see, I do have these color-coded, so you can keep track of it. Blue for the, original content, light blue for the stretch goals, pink for that one, green, etc., etc., etc. If you just watched my Thunderstone Quest reboxing video, I did color coordinate all those cards too with the related scenarios. I just find it easier to keep track of, if things fall out of place, or if you're looking for a certain scenario, or you can find out where it is. And I'll show you how I have all my cards tagged with that same system. Moving on, we have our game tiles. Those fit, again, nice and snug. Every inch of this space was used wisely. So you take those out, and boom, we have another row of cards that is exposed. We have slots for the 3D hatches. And if you didn't get the extra set of 6, this slot would have been empty for you to use as you want it. I am a completionist. I have FOMO. I had the extra set. I forgot to order it originally and ended up getting it after I got this game because I just had to have it. These look so cool. I don't want to mix and match with those. And they're not bad looking cardboard hatches, but I didn't want to be in a situation where this was on my game board mixed with that. So I ended up getting the Game Steward, another pack of 6 to fill it up, and those fit perfectly there. This is where you have all the dice. And I also threw in my Investigator bases in this slot too. They're kind of buried in here, but so all my Investigator bases are there. All the dice are in there. My special extra dice that I ordered fits right on top. We have more room tiles here. A nice stack of those. And right below there are the Visage cards from Faces of the Sphere. So you can see those are nice and tucked away. Okay. You can see these are all sleeved. And sleeve cards fit perfectly in these game trays. In these organization trays provided to us by Dimension Games. I use Paladin sleeves. They're 90 microns thick. And it fits everything perfectly. Alright, so as I said, all the cards fit in this perfectly. They fit sleeved. We have a whole row here and a whole row there. I'll show you exactly what goes where and how I have it organized in just a second. But I want to finish up talking about these last 2 trays here and show you what's in there. In the big tray over here, we have all of the bases for the miniatures. Okay, so we have all the black standard bases for the minis. So when you're going to have a monster spawn, you're going to put it on the base there. And there are also a few extra colored bases here that you actually do use for these monsters, these mutations that are hunting you down, because in one scenario, they are hunting you down, and each one will target a certain investigator. So if, let's say you're a blue investigator and you have a blue monster with a blue base, that one's going to try to attack you first. It's going to prioritize you. So I keep those separated over there with the other bases. We do have these nice drowning dials. So one of the cool concepts in Deep Madness is you are in an underwater facility. that has been taken over. It suffered damage, so it is sinking, it's leaking, it is submerged, and some of the rooms are flooded. They're full of water. So when you cross them or end your turn in them, you lose oxygen. And you will keep losing oxygen to the point where you could die. So there's an extra strategy level there. That by itself makes the game so much harder. I mean, I know some people have done house rules where they've ignored, that concept to make the game easier, but this just adds another layer of things you have to overcome, another obstacle in your way. And there's one for each investigator, so there are 6, and now they all go right there. The last little compartment's kind of for extras. I have my little clips for standees. I have all the door hatches in there, in case I want to use them or in case there's another reason for them. I also have these extra large bases in there. A few of the monsters, they're larger, so there's a few of them in there for those. You can see the difference there, so I keep those separated over there. And a couple of scenarios use these guys. So you would use the standees for them. So those all are there. So that is all of the components in this game. I do want to talk about the cards. As you can see, that is a lot of cards. It's a pretty tight fit, pretty snug fit, but they all fit, and they all fit sleeved. So let me just take this stack out here. So these are, the room cards. So this is how you would devour rooms. So this would be shuffled based on your scenario. You would flip a card, and that is what's randomly going to decide, what room is devoured next. You can see there are, numbers on here. And let me grab one of the tiles here. You can see there's a number on each tile. So if you draw number 1 card, this one's going to flip over to its devoured side, and you're going to start spawning monsters from that room. So that was where those go. Next there we have all the investigator cards. This is how you determine turn order. So these are just mini cards. You can see I have them color coordinated by what expansion these investigators came from. And then the white ones are the bonus ones that were released, and the blue is some of the original. That way if you wanted to play with only certain investigators, or if it's scenario based, they're tagged there. This big stack here is all the monsters that you can face. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I lied about that. These ones over here are... Actually, I forget, guys. Hold up 1 second. Let me just double check. So these are different. Okay, that's what they were. That's what I can't remember. These are for extra cards. And some of the scenarios, will give you these traits, which could be good or bad. This one is bad. As you can see, you're fragile. Your maximum health is reduced to 3, and your maximum sanity is reduced to 2. This one is for when you're playing the Oracle's Betrayal with William. He's the puppet master. And this gives you do not want to get these puppet cards, but those are scenario cards. Those are related to only certain scenarios, so they are tagged with the purple ones. So that's where those come in. Some of these Oracle Betrayal cards were, I think, the green ones, and that's why they're tagged there. But those are very scenario only cards in there. You're not going to use these cards every game. So those are there. Investigators, rooms. And then these are all the monster spawn cards. So this is what you're going to determine turn order. And again, I have... So they don't have a color coordinate. They were some of the original monsters in the base game. But then these blue ones here came from, an expansion. So that way, if we're wanting to keep them separated, they are tagged. But this is also just turn order for these monsters. That's what these cards are used for. And those all fit perfectly in this slot. And you can see there are quite a bit of variety of monsters there. Up top here, we have the investigator cards and the monster cards that give you the instructions on how to use each investigate. It gives them your stats, so your max health, your insanity. I don't know exactly what these numbers mean. And a couple of special powers that each one has that is different. So you can see why Reagan has a little bit less health than Clarence. She has a lot more sanity. So those are all there. This would be your, if you're playing as Clarence, this would be in front of you. For a solo game, we're probably gonna have 4 of these in front of us, and that's how we would manage a solo game. And on the flip side of that, we have these monster cards, and this is what tells us how to use these monsters. So for this Unbound, they're going to move, then attack. There's different things here, and then it gives us special instructions. Let's see what else we got in here. The Hysteria. This is more of a normal monster, and again, it's going to do its special move first, and then move, then attack. And its special, if this Hysteria has possessed an investigator, that investigator takes 2 wounds and is slowed. And this Hysteria's activation ends thereafter. Otherwise, ignore this action. And the attack target investigator is possessed. So you can see how that could be deadly, but that's how these are the rules of play for each monster, and each card, as I said, is different. We have in the first slot here all the items we will use in the game to help us overcome these challenges. Like the ore cutter, which gives us an escape of -1, but it gives us some other enhancements. Some of the ones over here. Again, I tagged some of these by which expansion they are found in. I don't think it matters really too much for these, but just in case. This one is a detecting drone. Your search card limit is increased by 1. And it gives you another special power. So these are different items you can acquire during the game. These are then Madness cards. These are typically not good. Each Madness card has a flavor text, usually a pretty detailed, paragraph, half paragraphs of flavor text. But then this one, you would exhaust all of your sanity. You can see what the back looks like. Madness. There's quite a bit of those. Some of them, the flavor text was very scenario oriented, so that's why I tagged them. On the flip side, we have sanity cards. These are typically good for you. Again, flavor text, you can see this is William's Revelation number 4. So I would typically maybe only want to use these cards when I'm playing a scenario with William against me. But this one, you may choose and discard a devoured effect from the board. So that could be helpful. Yep, and that's all the sanity cards, so we're getting quite a bit. And then these are all the scenario-related cards. So these are very scenario-oriented cards. This is for Chapter 4. And again, I don't know if you played these in order, how you acquire these, but these were very clearly scenario cards. You would only use them when you're playing certain scenarios. So all those are up top here. And I said there is a little bit of room to spare, even though I have it sleeved for everything. I don't think Dimension Games has any plans for any further expansions. If they do, it'd probably just be scenario-related expansion instead of, whole new monsters and stuff. There's not a lot of other room in this box. But I must say, for everything in this game, for 6 full boxes, all the epic monsters, hundreds of cards, hundreds of tokens, 100, 200 plus miniatures, they made this a very easy game to organize. This is really nice. I was very happy with how smoothly and compactly everything fit. It's going to make make setup for this game that could take a long time. And I've read some people online, saying that it took them, 15, not 15, that would be pretty quick, but 30, 40 minutes to set up a game, find everything, and that is just not the case with this setup here. It should only take you 15, 20 minutes to get the whole game set up. Cleanup's going to be a breeze, just boom, boom, tiles go right back there. So I got everything organized wherever it goes. We'll put these manuals back there. And that is Profundum. So next we're going to move on to Monstrum and show you guys how we have the miniatures organized. And that will complete our reboxing of Deep Madness. So Monstrum is coming up next. Alright everyone, now that we've got profundum done, we're going to jump into Monstrum, which is a very extra large box used to house and organize all of the minis. Now, this one didn't come with any instructions, so you kind of had to figure out over your own. The Facebook group for Deep Madness had a couple posts on how people had it organized. I kind of followed that. What I am going to do is, somewhere in this video, I'm going to have just pictures of each layer on there that you guys can stop and look at, but I'm also going to make a PDF of those pictures that you can download. You will find that link also in the description below, and you can use that as your guide to organize Monstrum. Okay, and right on top here is a picture of the first layer. Now, this was a guide that I used partially on I found on Facebook. I did modify a couple of the things I just thought fit well here or just weren't organized to my liking. But this was the general outline that I used, and there's one for each of the 6 layers. This is layer 1. I'm going to be printing a full color, or not printing, but uploading a full color upload one to Dropbox, and I will send you guys the link that you can use to print off if you'd like to keep. And then I think printing off makes it easy because then it shows you what you need to do to reorganize it, so you don't have to just label every single chamber here in this giant box. All right, top phone comes off, and there we go. There are the minis, and I'm going to see if I can get this camera a little better situated here. Yep. Not really. I'm not going to be able to get directly over top. But we have all the minis here. Right on top, we have all the investigators that you would use. Okay, I have each one labeled with who they are, and that way I know who I'm using. That is Hannah. Okay, this is a mini that I actually had to glue. He came off the base, so I'm going to have to put him back where he belongs. But then we have all these little critters here. We have some other smaller ones here. This was one of the changes I made to the PDF that I was following. These guys don't fit perfectly here, and this seems like a very easily breakable tip. So I thought putting them on the top row would be better, so they didn't have any extra weight from another layer pushing on them. So I put them up here. You know, we have these used. These are used with Spawn of the Sleeper. They're his tentacles, so that's an epic monster housing up there. These are some eggs used on one of the monsters, but most of this is investigator, good guy slots. Okay. So we'll go ahead and take that off. And we'll go on to layer number 2. All right, here's layer number 2. So once again, I have a printed off picture of how it should be organized. You can kind of see my handwriting. I made some changes, and I will have that updated for all of you guys. But here's where we start getting all the monsters. So we have all the parasites. Again, I see I labeled each one of those here. Those are all tucked nice and safe in there. We have the bloated type monsters in here. Ravenous. And these all fit really nice in here. On some of these, I may go through and take some of the foam that I saved from these slots, cut it and put it in here to keep those from bouncing around. But for most of them, I won't. They fit pretty well in here. You know, this is actually unused space. So if there is any other expansions at some point, maybe we can use those slots. But that is number 2. All right, here's number 3. Layer number 3. I know I'm going through this fast. I'm not really pointing out all the individual slots. I said I will do a still photo of each layer in this video at the end, and I will have it labeled. Then you can print it out for your own use if you want to. But here's where we have more of the miniatures here. We have the blind, the glutton. You know, the way this game has it, most of the smaller miniatures are on top, you know, and they kind of get bigger as you go deeper into these layers, give or take a few exceptions there. But again, every slot in this huge box is filled with these miniatures. You know, you can kind of shake around. There's a little wiggle room. So somebody like this, you know, that have these very delicate hands, I may add a small piece of foam there so when you shake it, they don't really bounce. But the foam core protects them very well. I'm not too worried about it. All right, diving deeper, layer number 4 in here. Okay, and you can see this is where that one that was broken goes. Okay, that is a deep one. I just had to glue him back to the base. That was the only broken mini that I had in the shipment. So just a little super glue, put him back in a base. He is good as new. I'll have to get him a label, but then he goes right in there. Perfect. You know, up here we have our collectors. These are used in, I believe, the Rise of Dagon expansion. Here, that's the Shadow of the Filth. And these are the guys that I believe use those colored bases that track and hunt down each of your investigators. So, and those guys are stored there. Now, one of the other things I was going to do is make an index of all these, alphabeticalized. So if a game or a scenario calls for a certain one, you can look at the name. It's in tray 4, you just go right to tray 4. I will put that together too, and that will be included in that Dropbot links that you will find below. All right, we're getting to the good stuff, the big stuff now. All right, here is layer number 5. We're going to actually start zooming in just a little bit so we can see. So we have some of the bigger pieces here. So we have our immortals, and you can see these guys have some delicate wings. So we're going to be making sure that, you know, we keep them nice and secure in the foam there. But these are all some of the bigger size models. You know, these guys here will use those bigger bases that we saw that I'm keeping in that separate chamber profundum so we can find them quicker. Okay, this is Dagon, or I'm sorry, this is William from Rise of the Sphere. So he's clearly labeled there. You know, and you can see here I did put a small piece of foam in this to help keep those little guys there from rocking around. But again, everything fits very nicely in this foam core. And the last layer. Okay, layer 6. Layer 6 has all the epic monsters, some of the bigger monsters, and then all the visages from faces of the sphere. So, and this is one I actually made the most changes to from this printed off layout. So I have all of the visages organized here right in the middle. Okay, you can see this is Hannah's visage. But then we have some of these big epic monsters. So that's the obscure. We have the Omega Ravenous tucked in the back there. So the one that I really want to protect the most is going to be the Drifter King. He's over here. And I moved him from the slot that this other person put him in because that sphere was sticking out and I just wasn't happy about that. But we have him laying flat there with plenty of clearance in the foam, so he's not going anywhere. All right, well that is every layer of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a nice high quality photo of each of these layers. It'll be on the video, but then what I'm going to do is post a printable link, as I said, my Dropbox, where you can print that off and print this off for you guys. I think that's going to be very helpful for you guys to keep it organized and keep track of everything. But that is how to organize Monstrum. So pretty simple. This should help make game setup a little quicker, a little bit more organized, and take down a lot quicker, a lot more organized. You're going to make sure you're going to get all your pieces back in the right spot so you can find them again next time. So that's all I have for you for this reboxing video. So until next time, guys, it'll be just Meeple and me.